Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to do a little bit of a different video. Normally I like to do openings and just talk about the cards or whatever set I'm opening and just have a fun time, more positive. But recently, for whatever reason, I don't really even personally watch Metazoo content creators or anything like that. But recently I have been seeing a lot of Metazoo videos from content creators who have been supporting the brand for, I would say, since the start. I think it's been going on for a couple of years now. So give or take however many years they've been collecting, selling, whatever. So a lot of videos that are pretty negative, I would say. I mean, it's that's definitely the description I would use for it. But And I thought that was pretty interesting, especially coming from those people, it's people who have stuck out, if you want to call it that, who have stuck out with the brand for so long, and even they feel like there's something wrong. So if you're the game developer, you definitely want to listen to those videos. But I figured, hey, I'll throw in my experience in the pit, just hopefully a newer perspective, a fresh perspective, because I feel like so many, like I mentioned, so many of the videos are from people who have been in the community for so long that they don't really know the woes of someone new coming in, and that is just not attracting enough people to buy their new sets, to be interested in the brand. And I just want to talk about my experience and my one and only time that I bought Metazoo, and why I probably won't be buying Metazoo again. Yeah, you can probably tell it was a pretty bad experience. And not even because of the price, as you can tell, obviously, which set it is. And not even because of that shit. I mean, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Duelist Nexus fell to like $50 on release day. So that shit happens. I'm not talking about that, but just the experience itself. Personally, before I even consider buying Metazoo, I had heard pretty much all bad things about it. Realistically speaking, the Wall Street bet of TCGs, you name it, the NFT game, whatever. Just negative stuff that doesn't really paint a good picture for someone to want to jump into the game. I didn't really want to record videos for it. I wasn't really that interested in the art itself, but I don't know why I saw that they were doing an SCP set. And yeah, sorry, I was gonna say there's here, right? Yes, SPC. Sorry, there you go. SPC, which is like a bunch of different horror monsters. I thought it'd be pretty cool. I'm a really big horror fan, so I thought it'd be a pretty cool crossover, like Halloween slash TCU video. I thought that would be pretty cool to do. But I can't find out they're not doing the set. Apparently I think they canceled it. Whatever the fuck happened, that set doesn't exist. I couldn't find anything about it. So come find out they are doing a set for October, and it's this one, Kuromi's Cryptic Carnival. I figure, hey, we might as well go through some of the cards while I talk about it. In case you haven't seen it. Hey, there you go. But anyways, so I check it out, and honestly, if we're talking about Sanrio, I know it's a huge brand. Believe me, it's probably way bigger than you probably expect. And I know it's a huge brand, but it reminds me of the Battle Spirit Saga criticism I talked about, that I just have to ask why. Like, I was so confused as to why are you doing a Hello Kitty. I can't imagine, that the most people collecting Hello Kitty are probably gonna be, in the female demographic, obviously, and in the younger demographic. And TCGs, just by their nature, unless it's Pokemon or Arcana or a big IP, are more geared towards adults nowadays, I would say, realistically speaking. I mean, Bandai games are, I would say, pretty much all geared towards adults now. And for the most part, most games are as well. So when I think about it, I'm just like, who are we doing this collaboration for? Like, I can't imagine, yeah, some people are probably like, hey, Hello Kitty, that's kind of cool. But the question is, again, for all collaborations, I feel like the question should always be, is this going to get people to cross over and say, hey, I'll give a fuck about your product enough to buy a box? And I think the answer is gonna be no, realistically speaking. Especially because you're talking about a brand that specializes in collectibles. Like if you go right now, Mercari, eBay, Opera, Facebook, whatever, type in Hello Kitty, you're gonna find so many plushies. Holy shit, it's gonna make your Walmart blush. Like you could probably stock up just locally on 100 Hello Kitty plushies without issue. It's such a big brand known for their collectability. So when you introduce a new collectible that these people, or most of the majority of the people that are into this brand, are not into already, they're just gonna look at it. It's gonna be one of those things like the Avril Lavigne situation in Battle Spirit Saga, where they look at it, the general audience looks at it, and they're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," and they move on. It's like when you see something, like when you see an Oreo. Personally, I don't like Oreos, so like when I see an Oreo that is like a Pokemon Oreo, I'm like, "Hey, that's cool," but I don't buy it because I'm not into that. And I feel like it's the same thing that people who are not into TCGs are not gonna buy a a card just because, or if they want a card, they're just gonna buy a single card. Which, guess what, Metazoo, you're not benefiting from that. You're not benefiting from the singles market. So obviously, these people are not gonna be motivated enough, especially again when you're considering that it's a brand specialized. I got a little too many cards. Specialized in collectibles. So I really feel like this was a miss in terms of a collaboration, and from what I've heard, apparently, this set was pretty important for them to, meet demand and do all this, which comes to my second part. So I ended up buying it. I said, fuck it, I'll buy the Hello Kitty one. I know a couple of creepypastas. I used to really be into those of Hello Kitty, so I thought it'd be pretty fun. We could still do a little bit of a horror crossover. And I checked the release date, October 30th. Perfect. Even if I get it 1-2 days after, or even a couple days after, whatever, I can definitely still theme it off Halloween. No. I got it. I just checked my email actually, just to make sure that I'm not exaggerating, because I don't want to do that when the situation is bad enough already. I got it November 29th. That was a month after. And initially, obviously, I assumed that it's my store. I assume, hey, I don't know, the employees got sick, the warehouse got set on fire. I don't know, they're in fucking Gotham or something. I don't know. But can't find out. I look it up, and no, it's just Metazoo is late. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's insane. I've never heard of that. Like, I've heard of delays of stores say, like, hey, yeah, this set, like Battle Spirit Saga, for example, or even bigger companies, they've done that where they're like, hey, we're gonna have to push back this release for a bit. And hey, that's fine. But when you promise a release date, that release date comes and not even stores have it, I just think that's fucking crazy. Like, I can't imagine how a store would have enough confidence to ever want to pre-order that. And come find out, if this was a one-time thing, like I said, shit happens. Hey, it is what it is. But this is like something that happens very, very recurrently. And I'm not surprised that so many stores don't carry Metazoo. If you check a lot of LGSs, they'll carry it, but like the first 2-3 sets, and then they just randomly stop carrying it. And obviously, I'm guessing it's because of this type of issues, just this inconsistency, inability to be able to deliver on time, which I feel like the number one thing. It's something that I feel like it's so, like, I get it. Obviously, distribution is a bitch. It's probably harder than obviously I'm thinking, but that's one of those things that it's just not the customer's problem. Like, as harsh as that sounds, that's just how it is. It's the reality of it, and you can't just continue pass it on. Yeah, we got issues, and not do anything about it, which I think is one of the bigger issues. Like, yeah, like I said, shit happens, but if you continue, it's like, it reminds me of that line in Far Cry 3, that guy, when boss is like, do you know the definition of insanity? It's doing the same shit over and over and over again, expecting something to be different. Like, you wake up one day and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get this, insane raise. It's like, well, what have you done different? Nothing. Well, then shit is not gonna change, obviously. No, you're not getting that shit. So it's just one of those things that I haven't really seen, because I read their letter as well. that they missed a bunch of things, that they're going to make up for it, and whatever. That they haven't even paid their professional players, which is another just insane thing. Just there's so many negatives right now. Like I said, I didn't know if I wanted to make this video just because, it's just like a beating. I don't want to say dead horse. I feel like that's kind of, because I don't know if want to be the Metazoo's dead, but I just feel like that is such a big thing, like straight up missing things. I have never heard of a TCG doing that, and that is just a horrible look. And my one experience turns out that it's actually the average experience for Metazoo fans, and I just can't imagine consistently supporting it, especially if you're a store. Like I said, imagine it's release week and you have no idea where your product is. Shit, you don't even have a tracking number for it. You're like, it's getting here someday, and you start getting a bunch of angry customers. You start getting a bunch of emails asking for maybe refunds. It's just a shit show that I can't imagine most stores are gonna want to go through. So when things like this happen and you don't address them right away, you don't say, hey, we changed this distributor, we changed this. And I get it, it's complicated, but at least addressing it and actually working towards changing something instead of just saying, yeah, well, we had issues, and just hoping people to be like, yeah, well, shit happens. Like, yeah, like I said, once or twice, I get it. But when it's so consistent and you're still missing products from people like months ago, like that is just not something that I think should be allowed to fly, to be quite honest. I think that's just quite frankly unacceptable. And I get it, it's kind of harsh, it sounds kind of harsh to say it like that, but realistically speaking, if you're trying to grow a brand, I don't see how the fuck you would accomplish that. There's no confidence even in your stores, even in your loyal fan base anymore. I doubt anyone pre-orders anymore at this point. Shit, I learned my lesson. I pre-ordered for 115, and by the time I got here, like a week after, it was like 60 or like $75. It was crazy. So definitely learned my lesson in that. I'm guessing most people are like that. And guess who gets stuck with the bill? The stores. And guess who's not gonna want to restock them anymore? The stores. And guess what's gonna happen? It dies. So definitely in Dark Crisis, like I said, my one time that I decided to go for it, fuck it, despite all the negative reception I've heard of it, I said, you know what, I'll give them a chance. Fuck it. It might be a fun video at least. I couldn't even do my Halloween video because I got it a month late. I can't find out that's the norm. I should be thankful that I at least got it technically, because so many products apparently people haven't gotten. And it's just and they released some half-ass letter saying, yeah, we fucked up, we're gonna fix this, and we're not doing pre-orders, and we're gonna pay the people. You still haven't paid the people, from what I know. Yeah, you still haven't paid the people. You still haven't given the people the missing product. And in my new experience, coming from a newcomer, like I said, this is my first and only set that I'm buying, and coming from a newcomer, you lost my interest, you lost my attention. It's like literally the opposite of that. Oh, you got my attention. It's literally the opposite. You lost my entire attention, you lost my interest, you lost my business, you lost everything. And I can only imagine someone who buys cases. Imagine if you're a store. Like, actually put yourself in the position of one of these big YouTubers or one of these people who actually sells, and they have to buy it at, say, 90, 100 bucks. Like, imagine, are you really gonna trust Metazoo? Like, realistically speaking, like, probably you're gonna start ordering a little less cases, and if you're still struggling to sell even that lesser amount, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna stop ordering altogether. You're gonna say, well, why the fuck would I keep burning myself? Why would I keep putting my hand in the stove when I know it's still hot? Like, no, I'm just gonna lose money. Like, nobody's gonna want to do that. So, is it fixable? I guess that's the big question. I guess if you learn anything from my story, pretty much, is don't pre-order Metazoo if you're interested still. Maybe I already scared you away. Don't pre-order. I guess expect delays. So if you read the pre-order or the release date, don't don't assume that you're getting it, and possibly you might not get your product. It's a distinct possibility, unfortunately. And I can't even imagine saying that. Like, and you want to be taken serious, you want to grow as a, as a game. How? Like, there's no confidence in anywhere. There's no confidence in the stores. There's no confidence in the, in the management itself, because so many things they say and they don't accomplish. Apparently they were gonna do some animated series, a bunch of weird collabs, which realistically speaking I don't think would help, but still it's one of those things, like those little things that do add up to your credibility and do end up hurting. And it's one of those things like the boy cry wolf, and nobody's gonna believe you eventually. You're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna fix this. And I say, yeah, sit down, grandpa, we've heard you say that 50 times. Like, come on. Nobody, I don't even know if anyone is, like, anyone who read that letter who's stuck around. Like, I read that letter and I still took it like, yeah, well, I guess we'll see about that. I can't even imagine someone who has seen these mistakes get repeated over and over and over and over again, and nothing has been done to address them. I can't even imagine how those people would feel. So, just a shitty situation, man, honestly. I just wanted to share this. Like I said, I do feel kind of bad doing these more negative videos. Just, I don't like to just dogpile on on a game, but it's one of those things that, like I said, and this is coming from a newcomer, so obviously I think the perspective of someone who has been with the game for years is probably way more valuable. So definitely check out a bunch of those videos if you're interested. But like I said, I do think that this perspective is still very valid, just because, I mean, obviously that's the whole point. You're struggling to grow your game. You're trying to attract new people. And if this is your first impression of the game, my first impression of the game was literally, I bought it once as an experiment type of deal. Like, I threw that, I charged my card, the 115. I assumed that shit was lost, man. Pretty much type of deal. It's like when you buy a shit coin or something and you're like, well, if it 100, I guess. If it gets here, I guess. But you just assume the worst, It's crazy. But it just sucks that obviously a game with so much history, because it is a lot older than I expected, to be fair. The game is like, I think, like, I want to say like 5 years old, 6 years old. So it is a lot older than I expected. So it sucks to see a game with so much history just, continuously do the same mistakes over and over again and just refuse to do anything about it. Like, just refuse to change anything. Or from what it seems, again, they could say, oh yeah, behind the scenes we've been working tirelessly. Well, yeah, words are one thing, and but results and actions are another. And when you're consistently producing the same bad results, something has to give, something has to change. So that's just, hey, that was my first impression of Metazoo. A bit harsh, I know, but like I said, just wanted to relay my experience. Pretty much TLDR, order a product to do a cool video for Halloween, got it the month after, lost half the value, which again, the value, like I said, I wasn't expecting too much of it, so that's the least part of it. And come find out that's just how it works in Metazoo. Apparently, you're lucky if you get your products. So, just kind of sucks. Like I said, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen, especially like, I don't want to say it's a big game, obviously, but for a game that has so much history, to just straight up miss deadlines and just say like, well, you get it eventually, it's just insane to me. So hopefully, again, the one part from that letter that I think is good is that they're not doing pre-orders. Like, let's see if they stick to that. Maybe they'll see like, shit, we need those interest-free loans and they'll start opening pre-orders again. Shit, who knows? But hopefully they manage to turn it around. Obviously, I never wish anyone to just straight up close down your business. I mean, obviously I'm not going to say that, but if you are conducting business in this way and you're just scaring away all potential new customers, potential new stores, whatever, or even your loyal fan base. I mean, like I mentioned, like I started off in the video, shit, look at how many people who have been with Metazoo for so many years are turning away from it, are leaving it, are, shit, they're even calling it dead. I didn't even go that far. They're calling it dead. So it's just not good. So hopefully they can turn around. Like I said, this is just my experience from someone coming into the game, someone who tried to, maybe potentially, I was thinking of getting the SPC one, The SCP one, sorry. The SCP one, but I'm not even sure if I will. I don't think I will, to be quite honest. Maybe I will if I can find it for like $40 or something. If they end up doing it anyways, I think they ended up canceling, like I said. So we'll have to see. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this was a different type of video. Oh yeah, let me do my top 5, ironically. I actually did like some of the art on this set, though, I will say. But I think that's just because I recognize the characters, you know, the Hello Kitty characters. But again, it's such a weird collaboration. Like, why Hello Kitty? Like, you literally could have gone with most generic IPs, and I'm pretty sure it would have attracted more interest. Just because, again, you're collaborating with such a highly collectible brand and an audience that generally doesn't care too much about card games. So, very interesting. I will say that. I mean, it's probably one of those things, like, it's just numbers. They just wanted to get as many eyes on it as possible, you know. I actually like this one, Chrome. Pretty much I'm going to choose all... actually, no. I did like one of the Metazoo designs a lot. But most of them are going to be Hello Kitty characters, so I'm not even going to hide that. Oh, yes. Got this one. No, oh, yes, this one. Actually, I don't know which type of foil do you guys prefer? I think this one, the other one with the stars. And let's do my 5 here. I'll hide that one, so at least you guys don't know that one. It will be my number 5 either way, so it's the least important. Hey, how are you guys feeling about Metazoo? What is your guys' experience with it? Are you a beginner like myself? Like, have you never even bought a box and you're for whatever reason you're checking out this video? Were you trying to get into it? Sorry if I scared you. I mean, maybe I didn't scare you. Maybe I educated you, and now you're gonna wait and get a good deal on it. So you're welcome if that's the case. Or if I scared you off, then hey, maybe I saved you a bit of money in the long run as well. So my number one. Wait, actually no, this is not my number one. Actually, it is my number 1, but these are not in the right order. Okay, there you go. My number 1 is gonna be Kuromi and Melody. I just really like the foil on this one. It looks so cool, like all the stars. I know it's literally all of them are like that, but shit. I think it's neat that it has both characters. I did see apparently there is a Hello Kitty card, but it's like super rare. And obviously I didn't get it, so kind of sucks. But hey, it is what it is. I thought literally the whole point would be to feature Hello Kitty everywhere and get people to buy your singles, but maybe that costed a little too much. My Melody and Chibi Iowa Dragon. I really was between these two, but since this one has Kuromi, and I prefer Kuromi over Melody overall, the character, or just the design of the character. So I was gonna say character. I don't even know if they have technically a character. I don't even think they speak. So there you go. Take it for what it is. I prefer Kuromi's design. So, but I really like how she's like riding a dragon. So this is probably my favorite. If it was Kuromi doing it, I think that would be sick. Or I know Kuromi has a bunch of other with monsters. So if I had more time to look through them, I'd probably change my mind. But I don't want to keep you guys here for over 25 minutes. Then let's do number 3 is gonna be Kuromi by itself, and the fireworks. I think that looks pretty neat. You can see the background. Like I said, some of the design on this one, that's actually so cool. Look at this one too. Melody. It's just like all little flowers, little stars. Then I had to choose a cryptid. I know that's Metazoo's whole thing, so I did have to choose one. And hey, I had to choose the iconic Mothman. So definitely had to go with that one. I had to give a shout out to number 6, I guess. To another Metazoo cryptid. Oh, this one. I actually really like the Wendigo as well. I just didn't get an all-out, you know, like Wendigo Wendigo card. So kind of sucks, but I definitely... Oh, I actually like this one too. Look at this one. Kuromi sleeping with the Hodog. That's nice. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about Metazoo. Let me know what you guys think about the future. I didn't really want to talk about the future too much. Just like I said, I wanted to give a newer player's perspective on it, just to maybe, I don't know. I don't think obviously the developers are going to see this, but just people in the community, so they see that not even attracting people. I think they know that, but just how the perspective around Metazoo it is and how hard it is for someone to get into it. Like I said, it took essentially me wanting to make a Halloween video for me to even buy it. So I imagine for most people it's gonna be a pretty hard sell. So just want to give that perspective. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully it's something that, if a developer does end up listening to it, maybe they can learn from it. Again, it's just just have to develop that consistency. Ironic coming from me, I know I never upload, but you just have to try to develop that consistency and try to deliver as much as you can. Because obviously that's what people care about. At the end of the day, that's what people care about. People care about results. It sucks, I get it. People don't care about the behind the scenes thing, but that's just reality of business. So hopefully you can improve upon that. Hopefully you guys can do better. Hopefully, the community eventually can do or can be restored a little more. And hey, hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again. Not for Metazoo, but for other content. Hey, stick around.